So we're going to edit this down, but we're going to try and get the rest of these endings. Let's not do that. Okay. Right away, new ending. What? What on earth had I been saying? Couldn't bear to look at her anymore. Ran out of the cabin and sat down at the door, pretending to be staring at the rain. She sat down to my right. Perhaps we had a mutual understanding. Neither of us said anything. Not for a long while. Rain had finally stopped, and the sun had come out. Did you see a rainbow? I wasn't expecting her to ask about this, and I was a little surprised. No. A few minutes later, she leaned her head on my shoulder and fell asleep. She didn't seem to be dreaming this time. I looked at her beautiful smile as she slept, and I finally made up my mind. I let her sleep on my shoulder quietly for another half hour. I wanted to selfishly enjoy these last glorious moments by myself. The world had stopped moving for all I cared. I couldn't make you happy in this life. But if I had the chance, I would dedicate my entire next life to be with you. Ah! Is that gonna do it?
好想
Ah!
活下去。
Now this actually... I didn't expect that to turn this quickly, but this unlocks a new letter for him. Ever since I was a little kid, I always liked to ponder certain questions. Why was I me? Why were other people them? Why wasn't I other people? Why weren't they me? Baba is key. Baba is door. Did the world really exist? Was everyone living in it the same as I? Baba is wind. Was the world like a movie playing in front of me, and I was the projector of the movie? If I shut myself down, would the world still exist? I knew I would never find out the answers to these questions, because I could only be myself, not anybody else. Even when I had learned that there were over 7 billion people on the Earth, or that compared to the Sun, the Earth was as big as a grain of sand on a beach, or that in the universe our Sun was barely as big as a grain of sand. I still didn't have the answers to those questions. Therefore, ever since I was a little kid, I had always been eager to prove myself to the world. I must get the best grade on an exam. I must be the last person standing in a fight. I must be the best artist in the world. And I had almost been the world's finest artist. 14 years ago, in an unusually wet winter in Italy. I had been living in Venice at the time, preparing for my personal art show. If the show was a success, it would be possible for me to become one of the most highly prized artists in the world, recognized alongside some of the greatest names in history. After weeks and weeks of preparation, I was exhausted, but also excited. When my fiancée called and told me that she had caught the flu, and that she had to be hospitalized for a few days, I barely thought twice about it. It's just the flu. I just told her to get some rest, thinking I would make it up to her with a huge surprise as soon as I got back home. I could never imagine that a crumpled and ruined world would be awaiting me. VIRS. Huh? Let me read. Variant Infectious Respiratory Syndrome. Daily respiratory disease diet. A new coronavirus. After a few weeks, serious complications. Oh, wow. When the entire country was embroiled in a devastating fight against the virus and gasping for breath, I was laughing and laughably living in my own space, completely isolated from the tragedy. When my bubble finally burst, I realized everything that I had ever chased meant nothing anymore. I was nothing but a selfish coward. I kept painting, but only because I had no idea what else I could possibly do. 10 years later, I had been diagnosed with stomach cancer. Karma. I didn't want to. Nor did I deserve to cause anyone any more trouble. So I had the surgery alone and left China with barely any luggage. The world was so big, and I wanted to go see it before the end. The Amazon jungle, Antarctica, the Middle East. I suffered from hunger and cold. I'd even been hit by a bullet. Oh, Jesus. When I had finally thrown away all my nonsense and started truly appreciating the world for what it was, I began to realize that this world, and the lives in it, were all so magnificent and real. Another 3 years had gone by. I had been feeling pretty great when I went to the doctor for another checkup. The doctor said I was in remission. The cancer was under control. He said my positive and relaxed attitude could be very helpful for treatment. Before I left, he told me to keep living life and treasure it like I had been given a second chance. After I left the hospital, I suddenly had the urge to go and see a person whom I had often been thinking about, but I couldn't allow myself to. I could only hope that she was having a happy and good life. I had settled down in Hong Kong. I had rented a small studio, and I had been teaching little kids drawing. I wasn't well paid, but I was enjoying myself. Occasionally, there would be a few people who would visit my studio, and they told me that they wanted to purchase some of my pieces. While my paintings were all records of the most unforgettable people and events in my life, how could I possibly sell them? God had always loved toying with me. Just when I was getting used to this peaceful new life, it was shaken upside down again. Literally this time. A severe earthquake hit the island of Hong Kong without any warning. When I came to, I had been buried under debris. Oh jeez. My right hand was pinned under a big piece of concrete, and I had lost all feeling. I assumed the bones had probably been broken. A day had gone by. I hadn't had anything to drink since the day started. A day had gone by. I thought I had heard somebody yelling something. A day had gone by. The darkness had swallowed me. I had gone 3 days without water. My body was severely dehydrated, and I couldn't even urinate. I thought I had heard someone calling my name for the past 2 days. I must have started hallucinating. Things couldn't get any worse. I looked at my right hand underneath the concrete, and I still couldn't feel anything. I made a decision. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh jeez. I picked up a rock with my left hand and smashed it at my right wrist until I started bleeding. I sucked on my own blood, trying not to waste a single drop. Perhaps it was all an illusion, but I felt a little more energy through my body. And yet my decision did not seem to pay off. Another few days had gone by. My right hand barely looked like a hand anymore. Oh jeez. There was still no sign of rescue. I wanted to live. Wen Zhaoren. Well, damn. Not gonna lie, I kinda like this ending a lot better right now, but this is sad. This is sad. We're back. So what the hell can we fix here? We'll see how the hell this could possibly change. I'd gone so long without any water, my body was seriously dehydrated. I had to drink my own urine, hoping to survive until I could be rescued. Even though I had been submerged inside of the darkness, I could still sense every sunrise and sunset. Whenever the sun went down, the night chill would surround me, along with a growing desperation. I felt something near my left hand. A rock. It seemed to be a piece of paper hanging out of a bag. Oh. It was one of the paintings from my old collection. With the painting in front of my nose, I started to see the vague shapes of the paint. Oh. Did we S rank? It was a quick sketch from my teaching days in Beijing. It wasn't really a piece of art. It's Li Wen in class. The subject of the painting was a girl. She was holding a pencil and a drawing. Her face was tightened up, thinking about her strokes. She was actually drawing me, and not very well, by the way. I had carried the sketch with me wherever I went. I would take it out and look at it whenever I was resting. I had wondered if I should draw another one, but eventually decided not to. The sketch, even the paper itself, was one of my most precious memories. I wanted to live. Oh, is that his ending achievement? No, that's the ending. How many possible endings? We'll do this. Oh, buddy there! Please respond! This voice. I'll never forget this voice, ever. Must have have started hallucinating. My mind went back to my teaching days 3 years ago. The girl that I had chosen to be my assistant just because I had wanted to go home early. She was yelling my name. What? Oh, okay, this is just a memory. She was angry at me that I had torn up her friend's sketch. She did not know that we had already met the night before. If a person could still live in his own memory after death, I wished I could return to that moment and freeze time. Then I would look at her, do nothing but just look at her, until the end of time. A small pebble fell down on my head. I opened my eyes. The light coming through the crack blinded me, as I hadn't seen light for so long. The crack was becoming bigger and bigger, until my face was completely exposed in the sunlight. I could see the person who was closest to my heart, but only their silhouette. Still, it looked incredibly like her. But how could it be possible? The silhouette stopped moving. It seemed to be hesitating. How? You can hear me? Can you move your hand? It even sounded like her. Even though I knew it couldn't possibly be her, I still teared up, unable to control myself. I struggled to raise my left hand. She reached out with her hand. Don't let go! Hold on. Now keep your eyes on me. Hold on! Keep your eyes on me! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so scared. Don't be scared. I will never leave you alone. Ever. Don't be scared. I would never leave you alone. Ever. I held onto her hand as tightly as I could, with all the strength that I had left. Even if it was just an illusion, I would never let her go again. I'm sorry, but I have broken my word. For the last 3 years, I had thought about what I would say to her if I ever got to meet her again, so many times in my head. I had practiced all of the various scenarios I could think of. Yet in the end, all I was able to mutter was a mere sorry. She didn't respond, but I could feel her shaking. I took a deep breath. Could you give me another chance to love you? 1 year later, a new piece of mine was on display at the Beijing Exhibition Center. I named this piece The Sun. A lot of people had asked me, wouldn't The Sunrise be a more appropriate title? I would always respond with a smile. Yes, to the others, the piece was about a sunrise. But to me, it was about the most important thing in my life. It was the sun, but not the sun. I glanced at the girl to my right, who was staring at the painting quietly. I put my arm around her shoulder. It started snowing outside of the center. The pedestrians all stopped and marveled at the scene. No one had ever seen snowing in the middle of summer. What? Yet while the snow kept getting heavier, the sun was still shining blindly in the sky. My eyes squinted into the bright glare, and I held onto her hand even tighter. We both smiled. God had really blessed me. Oh. So he did get back together with her. That's okay. Commercial art exhibition in Beijing. 39, 40. Acceptable. Literally, this is the only other letter we have right now. Key of Fortune. I reached out for my Sarasvati body pillow, but it wasn't there. I shook my dizzy head and sat up on my bed, trying to remember what had happened last night. I had been chased by a strange masked person on the way to the supermarket. The man seemed determined to kill me. I finally got away thanks to a landslide just off the road. I was completely exhausted when I came back and fell asleep as soon as my head touched the pillow. However, this was clearly not my own room. I sat up. The floating dust made me sneeze a few times. I turned around and saw that there was a clearly human-shaped mark on the old sofa bed. The rest of it was all covered with dust. Some of the furniture was covered with cloth and messily arranged in the corner. There were no windows in the room, only a locked gate. It appeared to be in a warehouse. The only source of light was a dim desk lamp on a wooden table that had one leg shorter than the others. There was also an hourglass and a used syringe on the uneven tabletop. A note was placed under the hourglass. You were pretty lucky yesterday, but can you still find the key to your fortune today? This time the game is timed, so please be aware of your time limit. If it's game over for you, I'll be very sad. Suddenly, the note was signed with a smiley face. Suddenly, Jimmy is in a fucking Saw movie. Smiley face? No, this was not just a smiley face. This was pie? How did... The infamous psycho serial killer, Pie! Oh. Yeah. 2 years ago, an extremely bizarre murder case had taken over the news for a while. A 30-something-year-old man died in the bathtub of his own house. To be more accurate, he didn't die there. His body was placed there. All 24 pieces of it, each of them meticulously sliced. The blood had been drained and the entire bathroom was totally spotless, as if it had been cleaned by a specially trained crew. The only clue left behind at the scene was a smiley face drawn with a marker on one piece of his body. Even more bizarre, the man was a divorced father who had been living with his 10-year-old son. After his death, the son told the police that he had been abused by his father multiple times. In fact, he claimed that he remembered the exact number of times it had happened. 24 times. Oh, please don't tell me this is fucking Jack. Was it just a coincidence? That's the thing that he did to his father. Stabbed him that many times. Was this smiley face killer some kind of vengeful angel of justice? The media started to spin the story, adding their own imagination and speculation. For a while, all kinds of articles about justice and evil were all over both legitimate and gossip newspapers alike. The police were completely at a loss with this case. A seemingly strange yet wildly different case happened. A drug-addicted pub singer, who was known for frequently abusing his girlfriend and causing multiple miscarriages, was found dead in the backstage of the bar where he usually performed. The crime scene was very clean and showed no signs of a struggle. They were only able to identify traces of blood after using luminol. We know what that is, but we read it anyway. Chemiluminescence. Yeah. His vocal cords had been ripped away from his body. Meanwhile, a cassette tape was found beside the body. The tape was recording the singer's own voice, but completely off-key. A smiley face was drawn upon the tape. Afterwards, the police referred to the suspect with the code name Pi, because the smiley face looked a lot like the symbol pi if it was rotated. Sure. They tried to prevent all information regarding Pi from leaking. Yet somehow the media kept finding more and more juicy stories. These would summarize several characteristics that were shared among Pi's victims. 1. Sadistic. 2. Male. 3. Some kind of abnormal perversion. For instance, a middle-aged man who was extremely into S&M that started targeting neighborhood A man who always cheated on his partners and then beat them up when he ended the relationships. An elementary school principal who was a pedophile and molested his own students. Molested the student. So it was as if a bomb had just gone off inside my brain. Must be because of that goddamn gossip article. It was after me for the wrong reason. However, I had no other choice but to find him so that I could explain myself. Yes, that's gonna go well. I read the note again, rolled up my sleeves to examine my arms, and I found it. There was a tiny bluish needle mark on my left arm. Crap, there wasn't much time left. The warehouse gate had been secured by an ancient-looking lock. The lock was covered with carved markings and seemed quite heavy and sturdy. There was a keyhole in the center of it. It seemed to be a challenge. To make things worse, it wasn't that I couldn't find a key. A chest had been placed right next to the gate. It was filled with keys, lots of them in all kinds of shapes. God damn it. I flipped the chest to the ground desperately. All the keys poured onto the ground in a chaotic flood of metal. There must be thousands of them. About half of the sand was still in the top half of the hourglass. Probably only had approximately 1 hour left. Even if I could try one key every 3 seconds, I would only have gone through less than half of these keys. However, I have no time to waste, and I had to start trying them one by one, even though I had no idea what to do next. 50 minutes had passed. I inserted another key into the keyhole. Yet, the goddess of fortune had never favored me ever since I was a little kid. Final grains of sand had dropped onto the small dune in the bottom half of the hourglass. Excruciating pain exploded in my chest. I couldn't even hold the key in my hand anymore. I dropped the key onto the pile. It made a clinking sound until I collapsed onto the pile. I must have completely wasted my time watching all of those crime investigation thriller movies. All I could think of right now were the scenes where the victim died. I couldn't remember even a single scene where the heroes escaped because of their intelligence. It hurt so much that I crawled into a ball on the ground. My mind was almost gone and I felt warmth beneath my nose. I wiped my face with my hand. Blood. It was over. I was going to die in a godforsaken place that no one would ever know about because the psycho serial killer had got the wrong guy. Jimmy. This feels like that's gonna be the one. I'm gonna YOLO swag. Oh, it was still not the right key, but I noticed something strange this time. I held the lock closer to my face and tried another key, in and out. A dim red light flashed inside the keyhole. There must be a wireless sensor. This was not a regular mechanical lock. I took out my PDA and started scanning for nearby devices. Bluetooth, infrared, Wi-Fi, anything. Finally, I saw a server named Lock of Luck appeared on my PDA screen, but I needed 50 minutes to crack the administrator password. Oh. Dead. Bad. Okay, only 4 endings. Bad. This is going to be good. The user has been granted administrative privilege. After 50 minutes, I finally cracked the administrator password. The lock was actually an electric lock that just looked like a mechanical one. It was connected wirelessly to a remote server named Lock of Luck through a nearby router. The server was the real key of luck. The program that controlled the lock had been set to unlock it, but there had been 2,000 attempts with any key. Never known in this fucking world could do it 2,000 times in an hour. That bastard almost had me fooled. I spent a little more time changing the 2,000 to 1 in the program and re-executed the program. Now all I had to do was try it one more time and I could finally get out. However, just when I was about to insert the key and oh... out of time. Bad. So... okay, there we go. We need to put the last key in the hole. Beep! Lock opened with a crisp electric beep. Yes! Thank God I hadn't been fooled by how it looked. Wiped the sweat off my forehead with my sleeve and disconnected the wireless connection between my PDA and the lock. 50 minutes ago, I had a sudden epiphany after trying a few keys without success. I took out my PDA and tried to scan for nearby devices. That was how I had found my chance to survive. lock was actually an electric lock that looked just like a mechanical one. Lock of luck. Key of luck. To have laid out such a trap would only mean one thing. Pi had secretly investigated me and knew that I was a hacker. That bastard almost had me fooled. It took me 50 minutes to crack the administrator password for the server. Then I was able to find the program that controlled the lock. The setting on the program indicated the lock would only be open if there were 2,000 attempts. In other words, it didn't matter which key I tried. All I needed to do was to try 2,000 times with any key. No one in this fucking world could do it 2,000 times in an hour. Except a hacker. Pushed open the gate. The humid air and clear night sky made me feel like I had never felt before. A paper bag was taped to the other side of the gate with a note reading, Antidote 1. In the bag there was a syringe filled with some unknown liquid and a car key. Are you fucking kidding me? Antidote 1? That bastard. Oh. An excruciating pain exploded in my chest. I had no choice but to inject the first antidote into my arm. I had to keep going. I had to find him. I struggled to stand up, sweat all over my body, and pressed the button on the key fob. A beeping sound came from a car not too far away. The headlights blinked twice. Okay. Jimmy's Saw Adventure. Okay. I guess this is Jimmy's Saw Adventure before we fucking get to unlock anyone else's letters. Sure. The Antidote 1 you just inject will allow you to breathe for 2 more hours. Waiting for you at the location marked on the map. Some smaller letters have been written below, circled by some curls. Jumanji! I almost wanted to tear the map that he had left on the steering wheel into pieces. What's wrong with this psycho? Freaking Jumanji? Revisiting such an old movie, he must be an ancient freak. I don't even have a fucking driver's license. I banged my head on the steering wheel and let the horn scream out my frustration. Yet, a few minutes later, not even a bird seemed to have been disturbed, not to mention any human neighbors that might have shown up to yell at me. Sigh. Fine, it was just driving, right? I'd seen it in movies. Tried to recall the controls out of all the racing games, oh boy. Oh, and seen some Initial D, of course, oh, of course. I stepped on the brake, shifted the gear, turned the ignition. After a series of teeth-grinding screeches, the engine finally started. It sounded exactly like an old man with asthma. The car started to move forward slowly. I held onto the wheel for dear life. I was able to guide it out of the warehouse. Didn't scratch the wall. Nor did I bump into the electrical pole. I kept going, stopping and starting numerous times along the way. Following the map for 20 minutes, I finally began to see other cars on the road as well. It was getting more crowded around me. First I thought that traffic had been slow simply because I had gotten closer to the city, but I started to realize that something wasn't right. There seemed to be too few people and too many cars. I turned on the radio when the anchor happened to be reporting the news. Oh. College students are gathering on the streets to oppose the recently proposed controversial draft of the education bill. At the moment, the protesters are moving towards Mongkok. Police have arrived to maintain the peace during the protest. Several blocks are currently closed to regular traffic, and impacted areas are seeing a significantly increased travel time. All drivers should remain alert to the road conditions to try to avoid these areas. Protest? Alarm went off in my head, but it was too late. His cranky old car was stuck firmly in the middle of a traffic jam, and nowhere else to go. Temporary roadblocks had been placed at several crossings that could have been used for turning. Several police motorcycles were parked nearby, their lights blinking red and blue. The policemen were directing the traffic, and the cars were moving slower than the pedestrians. If I kept going like this, I'd be dead before I got past this block. I checked the map again to confirm the route Pi had drawn. Balls, he did it on purpose. Fine, if I wanted to play Ed Gain, I would play Toretto then. I had nothing to lose. I turned the wheel full to the left and stepped on the gas as hard as I could. The car knocked the roadblocks away and continued into the street. Oh! Police chase! I kept slamming the horn at the damn college students in front of me. Oh no. Soon I heard sirens screaming from behind me. Policemen who had just been smiling at me a few seconds ago were now coming up towards me on their bikes. If they caught up with me, I wouldn't get to restart the game. I got through the street as fast as I could and turned onto a road that I was familiar with. Finally, there are no more damn protesting students. Light had just turned green 200 meters ahead of me. Very few people ever used that crossing, so the green light typically only lasted for 10 seconds. I knew this as I had to go through it every time I went to the supermarket. However, as the other direction was a truck exit off the freeway that usually had a lot of cargo trucks, red light would last for 1 full minute. I glanced at the speedometer. I was going at 54 kilometers per hour. 15 meters per second, right. I had to get rid of the policeman here. I drove at the same speed for 100 meters, stepped on the gas harder, accelerating and increasing my speed 4 times over. Oh, damn. I drove another 100 meters. I stepped on the brake hard and reduced my speed by half. In my wildest dreams, I had never thought that I would be involved in a car chase with some policeman. Definitely had not imagined that I would be driving an old piece of junk that might fall apart at any time. Still, the engine seemed to be roaring with confidence. I felt that the car was trying to tell me that he used to be a beast too. The car and I flew over the crossing, leaving a stream of black smoke behind us. Oh crap. I had gone too fast, too soon. The policeman had sped up after me and gotten through the green light too. I wouldn't be able to find another chance to get rid of them later. More and more police had joined the chase. In the end, I was blocked by 2 police cars at another crossing. Blinking lights had almost made me blind. I was surrounded by numerous officers and their guns. I had no choice but to step out of the car with my hands held behind my head. I got slammed onto the hot engine cover. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say will be used. Hearing those lines that I'd only heard on TV and in the movies did not excite me as I'd expected. And they say I'd been accused of unlawful driving, speeding, vandalism of public property, murder. Wait, murder? They brought me behind the car. The trunk was open. Oh. I saw all kinds of knives, handcuffs, shovels, and tools in it. Some of them had some sinister-looking red liquid on them. What the hell? I could imagine Pi sitting on a sofa, sipping a glass of red wine, and mocking me. He must be the sickest, most devious serial killer ever. I didn't have much time left, at least not enough to convince the police that I was innocent. Sitting in the back of the car, all I could do was pray. May God us a fortune, please show me some miracles. Jimmy. Okay. Well... let's save Jimmy, I guess. Well, Cartridge is a policeman. Reality was different from video games. I couldn't make myself burst like a real outlaw when it turned yellow. The sirens were still behind me. I remembered the consequences of being caught. I bit my lip and kept driving up to the crossing where the light had just turned red. A blinding beam of light pierced the driver's side window, along with the deafening scream of a car horn. I could vaguely see the shadow of a cargo truck behind the light. I heard screeching brakes, then the thud of a collision. The impact had knocked me into oblivion. The entire world had turned into a bloody red before my eyes. Pi, I swear I will haunt you for eternity. Pour one out for Jimmy, my dude. Pour one out for Jimmy. Oh boy. Okay, we are back after being interrupted again. So let's not. Okay, we already have 2 endings. Let's trigger hints. Why not? Light had turned green 200 meters ahead of me. 10 seconds. 15 meters per second. 60. So, we need to... This was the original ending. No. Too fast, too soon. So, if we... Nope, it just turned red. Well, hello. Light turned red just as I drove past the crossing, and a couple of cargo trucks rushed out from the other direction. Police had to stop before the crossing. Yes! I drove into another alley and finally lost them. I rushed the rest of the way as fast as I could, trying my best not to attract unnecessary attention. I turned from a flat road to a zigzag uphill climb. There were fewer and fewer lights, too. Finally, I had reached the end of the road. It was the destination marked on the map. It had taken me an hour and a half. There was nothing else beyond the road but some woods. Would Pi be waiting in the woods? I got out of the car. Just as I was hesitating about whether or not I should call him, the theme song of my favorite game suddenly started playing in a nearby bush. Oh boy. Oh, plot time. Hey, lazy ass. How much longer are you gonna sleep? Shush, dumb brother. I don't want to get up yet. Ever since Fluffy's been gone, you've been acting like this. You don't need anything. You don't go to bed on time. You'll get sick if you keep going like this. That's none of your business. Ah, I just remembered. I heard that the zoo has got some polar bears recently. Want to go take a look? Polar bears? There have always been polar bears at the zoo. Oh, but these are not just common polar bears. I hear that they're at least from a Brazilian zoo, and they have green fur. Really? Really? The zoo has even doubled the price of their tickets. Come with me today, I'll pay for the tickets. Bears are only here for a few days. Be ashamed to miss them. What do you say? Oh. It was just a dream. I knew it. When did I ever have a brother? Oh, what time is it now? It's only 10. It's still quite early. I should go and find something to kill time. Oh! Investigation! There's a lot of dog hair on this pillow. Is it Master's hair? When did I pile all these books on the floor? Let me see what they are. Story of the Isle of Dogs. Midnight Convenience Store. 428 at Deep. Square Lightning. The Assassin. Probability, random variable, and stochastic processes? I don't remember having any of these books. Now I've forgotten many things. The last one doesn't seem like a book I would read. Did it belong to someone else? There's no one else here besides me and Baxter. It must be his then. The view outside is still so upsetting. Everything is red and it's still snowing. When will it stop? Should I wash it? Seems clean. Okay, that's the default answer then. What else can I look at? Desk. What's this? Is this a storage box? I don't know how to open it. What exactly is this? Oh, just a dice. Why do you think it was something else? Was I hallucinating? Oh well. Oh my. Nothing else interesting in the drawer. This is my favorite doll, Buka. Although I have the feeling that it has not always been here. How long has she been here? Oh well, it doesn't really matter. I'm glad you're here with me. Plant? By the way, I don't think I've ever watered this. How is it still growing so well? What else can we examine? It is the master's job to handle these letters and to help the humans. He always stacks the ones that he has read on a shelf. Every time I bring him tea and snacks, I secretly take one with me to read in my spare time. He never notices one or two missing out of so many. Although, I'm surprised by how many I've collected. It's a miracle that he hasn't caught me yet. Is this why we're running out of letters? Wait, there seems to be a note in the middle of the letters. Omnidimensional probability generator. Instruction. Manual. Oh, that's the pen! What is this? Seems like the manual to some machine. Attention. 1. Do not misplace the instigator pen. 2. All requests must be entered as text. 3. All descriptions of the request must be objectively accurate. 4. The energy consumption is irreversible. Doodled sketch on this note. Looks a lot like Master's writing. There's more below. Addendum. Sample applications. Telepathy. User who holds the instigator in an isolated environment is able to exhibit identical behavior to someone external to the environment. This feature is achieved by modifying the target's behavior to be identical to the user's behavior, not by reading the target's mind. Oh. Divination memory tampering. Oh. The user who holds the instigator is able to foresee other people's future behaviors and reveal the past of unknown strangers. This feature is implemented by modifying the target's future behaviors or past history. It cannot actually predict the future, or tamper with one's memories. Modifying the target's future behaviors or past history. How the pen works. Warning, altering objective past events could lead to unpredictable chain events. Please operate with extreme caution. This sounds like what Master has been doing. Oh, there's more. Resurrection. It is possible to identify the objective events that have led to the target's death. That death can be prevented by altering the causal links among the chain of events. Teleportation. Ability to teleport. Distance of teleportation does not impact the amount of energy consumed. This seems like a lot of extra powers that Willy had that we never had. Time leap. Unverified. Oh boy. Call Okabe. Teleportation. That sounds so cool. If I could do it, I would immediately teleport myself to a sunny beach. View of this place is terrible. Although, what does time leap mean? I don't understand. Weather manipulation. User who holds the instigator is capable of changing the weather and geographical features of the location. Warning. Oh boy. Using this feature may consume a significant amount of energy and even potentially destroy the ecosystem. Please operate with extreme caution. Transfiguration. The person who holds the instigator can change their appearance or that of others. Ooh. Unlike standard transfiguration, this feature allows the user to change to another species entirely, such as a cat or a dog. Change into a dog. Is that why Master can speak? No. What am I thinking? This note is probably the confused musings of an extremely bored and imaginative person. Master can speak because he's a god. Why would a god need a machine? Interesting. Ah, it's that late already? I should go to the kitchen now, or Master will scold me. Should I make osmanthus cakes or pumpkin cookies today? Master prefers pumpkin cookies, but I like osmanthus cakes better. Hey, maybe I should roll the dice. Yes! If I get more than a 1, I'll make osmanthus cake. I got a 1. Dice circled around the table before finally stopping. Nothing but that one big red spot facing up. Oh, okay, fine. I'll make osmanthus cake tonight. Well. Oh, not again. Fucking hell. After all that. Give me some more of these guys. Why do we have to do this? I mean, sure. Let's just do this. I was targeted by a psychopathic serial killer. I knew it sounded ridiculous. But it was true. I was even forced to play a stupid Jumanji game with him. And to clear it with one life. My real life. Standing in the middle of nowhere, in the dead of night, with a cell phone hidden in the tall bushes, ringing persistently like it was calling for my life. All I could think of was, Fuck, I wish I could just turn it off. Yes? I had no choice but to answer the phone. You finally came. It was the same chilling voice from the other night. Even though it had been modulated, the casual, mocking tone in the voice was unmistakable. Walked around half the hill. After another 5 minutes, I finally arrived at the gate to the manor, which Pi had directed me to by phone. Under the lamppost, the red brick wall seemed to be oozing with blood. There was a nameplate next to them. A magnificent wrought iron gate. The plate was covered with dust. See these words written on the plate. Apple Manor. Apple pie. I reached my hand out and pushed the gate. It wasn't locked, and it opened with a squeak. The path to the house was covered with fallen leaves. I could hear them rustling with every step I took. The thick foliage beneath my feet indicated that they must have been piling up for a long time. I took a deep breath and walked through the front door of the house, which was also unlocked. It was much bigger than I had imagined. The exquisite decorations in the hall were bathed in a faint and warm yellow from the lights. Lots of paintings were hung on the walls, each one of which looked like it could be worth a fortune. At the end of the hall there were 2 closed doors, one on each side. A table was placed in between those 2 doors, and a giant screen hung on the wall above the table. I saw Pi on the screen, wearing a cap and a hospital mask, covered head to toe in full black. Then he opened his arms toward me. Welcome to Apple Manor. I leaned against the wall, looking nervously around the hall. Antidote, where's the antidote? There's something extraordinary about Pi. Even though I was only seeing him through the screen, I still couldn't help but shudder. Well, that's rude. Pi pointed a finger down on the screen, pointed to the table underneath. You could see a metal box in the center of the table. This is your final test. I, being the generous man that I am, have left you hints underneath the box. Once you've made your decision, we can officially meet each other. Good luck. Wait, Before I could explain to Pi about the misunderstanding over molesting young kids, the signal cut off. Meanwhile, I heard a click behind me. Ran back to the front door and grabbed the handle, and I was locked. It was locked, damn it. Went up to the table. Open metal box was placed on top of a white tablecloth. 5 syringes filled with liquid of 5 different colors were lying on a cushion inside the box. A pile of handwritten notes had been left underneath the box. The first one said, "Wise man's choice." Encountering something this fantastical and strange in real life had left me speechless. The second one said, "The antidote will save you, the poison will kill you, and these 5 syringes." The blue one is the antidote. Heh, it's a logic game. There was no way you would just tell me the truth. It must be a trick. 2, the purple one is the poison. 3, the blue one and the yellow one are different. 4, the green one and the purple one are different. 5, the red one is the antidote. Yes, only one of these statements is true. Shit! I wasn't sure if it was because of my frustration or because the poison inside of me. I was beginning to feel lightheaded. Still, I managed to read the last note. P.P.S. There were fewer antidotes than poisons in the syringes. That is the God's honest truth, big brother. I needed to calm down. I stared at the 5 syringes, took a deep breath, and began to think carefully. Red, blue, purple, green. Made a decision, picked up the syringe in this color. Yellow. Could it be this one? Maybe the hints were too complicated, or the poison was hindering my thoughts, but I felt like my brain had almost completely stopped functioning. Must be this one. Picked up the syringe and stabbed it in my arm and died. How was the tablecloth turning red? Oh no, it was me, bleeding from my nose and my mouth. Dying harder. I couldn't. Somebody. Please, help me. Jimmy. Jimmy. Okay, there's the note. That's obviously an ending. I'm gonna use none of them and die. Trying my best to organize my thoughts over and over again. Going to the answer of Pi, only out of the 5 syringes, the only one that could possibly be in the antidote was the purple one. There was another scenario. That none of the syringes had the antidote. Thinking back to the previous test that I had survived, Pi would likely play a trick like that again. Which case would it be? There was no antidote here. Where was it? There wasn't much time left. Oh, okay. Just toggle the lid first, stop moving, and we died. Front door unlocked with another click. Oh! One of the side door's handles turned. The door was pushed open. Someone walked quietly toward me. Saw a pair of squeaky clean black Oxfords. See a familiar reflection in those shoes. The owner of the Oxford stopped in front of me. I heard a strange male voice say, "What a shame. Game over. Phew! Ooh!" I stabbed his leg with a syringe in my hand. I injected every single red drop into his body. "You, how dare you!" The first time he had finally lost his calm in front of me. He dropped to his knees and began to search all of his pockets in a frenzy. Finally pulled out a syringe filled with white liquid. There it was. Grabbed the box on the table and smashed it onto his head with all my remaining strength. Pie fell to the ground with a thud. The syringe slipped out of his hand. I caught it. "See you never! Ha ha!" I yelled excitedly, and holding the syringe tight in my fist, I ran toward the entrance. The darkness outside looked so welcoming to me. I sprinted out of the manor, hoping the darkness would conceal my existence from evil forever and ever. Well, that worked. Let's take all of the syringes. Sure. Let's see what happens. Why not? There are fewer antidotes than poisons. Could this be true? Thinking back to the previous test that I survived, I must be playing a trick this time too. Yes, I just figured out the truth. Even though there are more poisons, if I just mixed the poisons and injected them together, the mixture should be able to negate the poison already in me and save my life. Wasn't it always like this in the wuxia novels? I felt ecstatic about my wisdom and injected the drugs into myself, and then died horribly. I could feel my body becoming lighter already. It felt like shackles had just been taken off of me, and I could even fly. I felt so happy. Ha! I'd found the antidote. I was going to be okay. Go home and keep playing my video games. Look, the angels were already here to greet me. They were flapping their wings and flying me around in a circle. They were about to help me fly. I just... maximum death. Okay, now what?
为什么我要遭遇这样的事？
Really? Spotty! Alright, finally. This is what I was waiting for. But what the fuck is the final battle? I just literally stabbed it with a poison. Did he have extra antidote? I'm so confused. But, sure. We'll deal with that next time, I suppose. We'll do that. See you then.